Nobody lived in the house at the end of the street. At least that's what everyone thought. It stood there, dark and silent, year after year. The old house was a mystery. The house was a forgotten place. It had once been grand, with a wide porch and tall windows. Now the paint was peeling, and the yard was overgrown with weeds. The house seemed to watch you. It sent chills down your spine. Willowtown was a small, quiet town. It was the kind of place where nothing much ever happened. People knew their neighbours. Life was simple until the Graysons moved in. John and Mary Grayson seemed like a nice couple. They had 2 young children, a boy and a girl. They moved into the old house at the end of the street. Everyone in town thought it was strange. Why would anyone choose to live there? The Graysons were very private. They kept to themselves. They never stayed in Willowtown for long. One hot summer night, everything changed. It was a night like any other. The air was still. The crickets chirped, and then the screams started. They came from the house at the end of the street. The screams were loud and terrifying. Neighbours ran outside to see what was happening. They saw lights flickering inside the house. Then everything went dark. The police arrived quickly, but the Graysons were gone. There was no sign of a struggle, no sign of a break-in. The family had simply vanished. The people of Willowtown were shocked. What had happened to the Graysons? Where had they gone? Rumours started to spread. Some people said that the Graysons had been in trouble. They said that maybe they had been running from someone or something. Others said that maybe they had just decided to leave. Maybe they didn't want to live in Willowtown anymore. But the most frightening rumour of all was that the house was haunted. People said that the Graysons had been taken by something evil, something that lived in the house at the end of the street. After the Graysons disappeared, people started to notice strange things. They heard noises coming from the house, noises like footsteps in the night, noises like whispers on the wind. One night, a neighbour swore he saw a figure in one of the upstairs windows. It was just a shadow, tall and thin, but it was enough to send chills down his spine. He ran to tell the other neighbours, but when they got back to the house, the figure was gone. Section 6. The House That Time Forgot. Years passed. The house at the end of the street stood empty. No one dared to go near it. The paint peeled, the roof sagged. The yard became a jungle of weeds and thorns. The house was like a scary story that parents told their children, a warning to stay away. A reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved. But some stories are just too tempting to resist. Section 7. Dare to Enter. In 2015, a group of teenagers decided to explore the abandoned house. They had heard the stories, of course, but they didn't believe them. They thought it would be fun to spend a night in the house to see if anything would happen. The teenagers were wrong. They arrived at the house at dusk. The air was heavy with dread. The teenagers joked nervously as they made their way up the creaking porch steps. They thought they were ready for anything. They were wrong. Section 8. Lost in the Darkness. The teenagers entered the house. The air inside was cold and damp. It smelled like dust and decay. Cobwebs hung from every corner. The teenagers explored the house, their laughter echoing in the empty rooms. They found the Graysons' old belongings, furniture, clothes, toys. It was as if time had stood still. Then the screaming started. It was coming from upstairs. The teenagers froze, their blood turning to ice. They slowly made their way up the stairs, their hearts pounding in their chests. They reached the top of the stairs and then everything went black. Only one of the teenagers escaped that night. He was never the same. He couldn't tell the police what had happened. He could only say that something had taken his friends, something dark, something evil. Section 9. Do you believe in ghosts? The house at the end of the street still stands today. It's a constant reminder of the mysteries that lurk in the shadows. A reminder of the things we don't understand. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in the things that go bump in the night? If you're ever in Willowtown, take a walk down to the end of the street. Stand on the porch of the old house. Listen closely. You might just hear the whispers of the Graysons, or something else, something much worse.